get into it with me. You got Charlo, who DAZN or Matchroom, Eddie Hearns offered $7 million to, which he turned down, and no negotiation about more money or bringing it over to PBC, because I can go over to PBC if that's what the situation is, and I know Eddie will, sign off on that. So at the end of the day, it's like, do these guys want to get in the ring with me?
What's going on, you guys? So, Demetrius and Andrade had an interview on the Last Stand podcast with Brian Custer. Shout out to Brian Custer for the excellent interviews. And Boo Boo Andrade was on there. And it was a really good interview. It was funny. Demetrius and Andrade got a hell of a personality. And I was pretty entertained throughout. He got a really good sense of humor. And, he don't seem to take anything personally. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, Brian Custer had an excellent interview. He asked some really good questions. He asked about Demetrius and Andrade's current situation as far as him not being able to get the big names. He asked why did he sign with DAZN, Matchroom over PBC Showtime. He asked about Canelo, Jermall Charlo. He asked about some of everything. And what really stood out for me in the interview was the fact that Andrade came out and said he shouldn't really reveal this about his contract, but he said he has the flexibility to go wherever he wants. Eddie will sign off on it. He can go fight wherever. So, yeah, he's able to go over Showtime and fight. Now, the offer that he said he got from DAZN, the reason why he signed with DAZN again was because, for one, they was offering the most money. Two, they got the most big-name fights over there. All the middleweights is over there. PBC has Jermall, Caleb Plant, and David Benavidez, but all the more bigger name guys, the bigger fights was over there on DAZN. So that's what he signed with. And, by him not being able to get these big fights, it's pretty much all on the opponents. Like, these guys don't want to fight it. He can't make them fight. He can only fight who's in front of him. And we all know this. It seems like boxing fans pretty vicious on Demetrius Andrade because he's not able to secure these big fights. But, one man can only do so much. You know what I'm saying? It comes a point to where boxing fans will have to start looking at these other dudes like, why y'all not fighting this guy? We just gonna let Demetrius Andrade prime just slip away for what? You know what I'm saying? It's been a long time, and we still haven't seen Demetrius Andrade enter with a big name opponent. And this is a problem in boxing. We may miss out on a once in a generational type of talent, and we may not even get to see this dude at his best because he's unable to secure the elite opponents. Is it really his fault? Nah, it's not. Because all the dudes on his side, DAZN is very flexible in letting guys come over or letting guys go over there. So it's got to be these opponents, the Canelos, the Charlos, And Brian Custer also brought up the interview where Jermall was on there about a week ago. Jermall said he'll fight Andrade and he's going to hit him with this right hand. He's going to field his right hand. He was talking shit. Andrade just laughed. Like, bro, just sign a contract then. Like, I'm not about to be going back and forth, dude. You want to fight, just sign a contract. I sent you $7 million. Is that enough money? Is that not enough money? How about you tell me what you're looking for? And that's pretty much what he was saying in regards to that. He said that they didn't want to fight, basically. So he's going to keep doing what he's doing. Keep fighting whoever will step up to fight him until he can secure one of these elite opponents. Canelo Alvarez is the money man in boxing. He said that Brian Custer asked him the 3 fights you think you want. And he didn't even mention Canelo because he said prior, he don't really think he's going to get that fight at all because they don't want it. So he said Triple G, Charlo, and Billy Joe Saunders because he still got unfinished business with Billy Joe. So those are the guys that he said he wanted to fight. He was willing to go back down to 160 to fight Triple G or Charlo, whoever. But after his next fight with Liam Williams, he'd probably be going up to 168 and see if he can get some fights there. So, yeah, Demetrius Andrade is just moving up in weight, and it's kind of a sad story. You know what I'm saying? He seems like a good guy. Seems like he got good energy. Seems like he respects boxing. He respects the sport. He's not in here to be cheating fighters, and, he really respects the sport. You get that vibe from him in this interview. I'm not going to give too much because I want you guys to go watch it because it was a really good interview, and you get a better insight on who Demetrius Andrade is. Really just a guy with a hell of a sense of humor, good energy, and he just wants to show the world that he's the best. And that's all us as fans should be asking for. Whether you're a boo-boo fan or not. You ought to be curious, like, how good is this guy really? How come Charlos and anybody else, anybody in the middleweights, I'm talking about from 154, 168, none of these guys is knocking on the door to fight Demetrius Andrade. None of these guys is hitting up Eddie Hearn, like, look, man, pay me this, that, and third, and I'll get in there with Demetrius Andrade. Nobody's doing this. Why? Like, subscribe, holler at your boy. Peace out.